everyone, this is Lara Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and in today's video I'm going to discuss how I use the AnyList app for shopping lists and errands. So this is part of my series on my ADHD brain and all of the systems that I use to compensate for a lack of internal structure and organization. So I am the head procurement officer in my house, and one of my many quirks is that I absolutely hate grocery shopping. I would rather clean bathrooms than grocery shop, really. And because of this, I only do it once a week, and I will go to extreme lengths to avoid going more often than that. I also have issues with running out to do a single errand. It feels like a giant waste of time. So this must come from my childhood when we carefully budgeted gasoline and we did all of our errands all at once and infrequently. Because of these quirks, I require a really good list system to remember the things that we are running out of and all of the errands that we need to run so that I can do them all efficiently and all at one time. Enter the AnyList app. I love this app, and I don't even actually use all of its many features. So first, let's just talk about how things get on my list. I call these triggers. So for things that we use frequently, I have one backup item in the house. Sometimes I have several backup items. It really just depends on how quickly we use that item. So for example, we have a laundry detergent in use, and we have one backup. When I open up the backup laundry detergent, that's the trigger to put that item on my shopping list. For things like macaroni and cheese, where many boxes could be consumed in a single week, I keep a pack of 6 in our cabinet. When the last one is opened, that's the trigger to put it on the shopping list. I have a pack of 6 rolls of toilet paper in each of our bathrooms, and then I have one extra one in the house at all times. If I open that backup pack of toilet paper, that's the trigger to put it on the shopping list. Okay, so family triggers. It's kind of tricky to get my kids and my husband to follow all of my systems. In order for this to work, they have to let me know when it's time to put something on the list. They can do it either face-to-face, by email, or by text. I'm not picky. But in this case, there are some natural consequences if they don't follow the system. So I go grocery shopping once a week. If it's not on my shopping list, I don't buy it. And because I don't typically run out and make a special trip for the things that my kids forgot to tell me about, they generally have to wait a full week or longer for that item. And want is definitely a powerful incentive for them to follow my system. Now let's walk through some of the great things about AnyList. So we're going to look at this on my iPhone, and I'm actually doing this a little differently than I normally do, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. We're doing this as a screencast. So first, let's look at the lists that I have set up. I have set up 5 lists in any list, but you could obviously make as many as you want. So let's take a look at my lists. At the very top, I've got today's list. So that is a generic list of things that I need to remember to bring with me for the day. So if I need to remember 5 things before I walk out the door, they go here. Shopping list is my weekly grocery list. Okay, skip errands for a second. Down to Target. Target is anything I need from Target. I go there as needed, but probably once a month or a little bit more frequently. Super H and Costco. Super H is our local grocery store, Asian grocery store, and Costco is obviously a big box store. So I go to those places very infrequently, maybe once a quarter or so. So then go back up to errands. Errands is the catch-all category for everything else. Anything from all other stores, any returns, stamps from the post office, taking the bikes to get repaired, even bringing things back to friends like a serving dish or whatever. Okay, store labels. So just for mental clarity, I like having this small number of lists. I don't have to scroll to see things. So that means that some of the lists on here govern items from multiple stores. So there are 2 lists on here that do that, the Super H and Costco list and the Errands list. So for those, I use the store label. So these labels are list specific. That means that I can have on my Errands list 20 store labels, but in my Super H and Costco list, I only need to have 2. So you can see the store labels for the items that I have in my Errands list. See those store labels? You just have to put these in one time, and then AnyList will remember them for future entries. So let's put in something new. Let's say I need an umbrella from JCPenney. Okay, so first in this quick add list, I'm going to type in umbrella. Okay, I misspelled it. Let's try that again, umbrella. Okay, and then once it's in there, I'm going to edit it. And then I'm going to assign stores, and you'll see that JCPenney's is not one of the stores that exists in there yet, so I'll create a new store. And done. So now you can see that umbrella has the JCPenney store label attached to it. So I like to use the store label because once I'm at the store, then I can filter for all of the items that are only from that store and then use that as a shopping list without all the extra clutter. So you can hit that funnel for filter and then choose the store. In this case, I'm going to choose Home Depot. And voila, it only shows the 3 items that I need from Home Depot. Okay, the next thing is cross-platform. AnyList works across all of my platforms. So I can enter items from my computer using a browser interface, from my iPad, and from my iPhone. The syncing works flawlessly, which is more than I can say for most apps. So this is great because I need to be able to put things on my list from all different places, when I'm out, when I'm working on my computer, or when I'm just around my house. The next thing is Siri and Reminders. So this is something that I make heavy use of, AnyList integration with Siri and Reminders in the iOS system. So if you turn this on in the app by going to Settings, then down to Reminders and Siri, and then do Import Reminders, it will interface directly with the Reminders function in the Reminders app on your iPhone or your iPad. So that means that it's going to automatically create all of the lists that you have here in AnyList in your Reminders app. So let's go to the Reminders app. And we can see all of my lists there. And in fact, you can see that my 5 lists are there. In addition, there's the green one says Reminders. Well, that's the kind of indigenous list that the Reminders apps use. So then it will import anything from this Reminders list directly into AnyList. Okay, so the reason this is so great is that it allows you to use Siri to add things to your shopping list. So watch this. Add bananas to my shopping list.
I've added it.
Okay, so now the next time I go into AnyList and look at my shopping list, ta-da, bananas are there. I use this all the time. Even better, if you turn on Hey Siri, you can wake your iPhone or your iPad up without even having to touch it, which is particularly useful if you are cooking and your hands are kind of not clean or chickeny or whatever. So you say, okay, it's not going to work here, but Hey Siri, add paper towels to my Target list. And again, the next time I go into AnyList, there it is in my Target list. So just so you know, to turn on Hey Siri functionality, you go into Settings, and then down to Siri, and then you make sure that Allow Hey Siri is on. Then anytime you want to use Siri, instead of having to press the home button, you can just say Hey Siri. So one note is that for the iPhone at least, it has to be plugged in while this is happening. My iPad does it when it's not plugged in. Next, this system is only for non-pressing errands. So that's what goes in my errands list, only non-pressing errands. If I have a pressing errand, like I need to get 2 dozen donuts for the tennis team by Wednesday, then I put that in as a task in ToodleDo on the appropriate day. I might even schedule that into that time into my Google Calendar so that I can be sure that it happens by the due date. This errands list is for non-pressing errands like getting stamps or returning items to stores or that kind of thing. That way, when I've blocked off some time to run a bunch of errands, I have them all listed and ready to go. So next is one click to cross off. I use one click to cross items off of my list, but it is easy to cross off something without meaning to. So like this. Gone. So AnyList has the functionality of shake to undo. Actually, you can do this in a lot of the iPhone apps. So if I shake, I can get that item back. If this is a problem, you can always change this setting. So you can go into settings and into cross off items and use double tap instead. Okay, bulk paste. So AnyList does have a great, robust recipe functionality. If you put all of your recipes into AnyList, you can send ingredients for those recipes directly onto your shopping list. I don't happen to use this functionality since I have a different system for recipes, but because I do have a different system, I really like their bulk paste function to get my list of ingredients into AnyList. So if I have a list of items, as long as it's separated by paragraph returns, each item is separated, then I can bulk paste them into AnyList. Okay, so here's my list. I'm going to copy it. Okay, and then I'm going to go back into AnyList and into my shopping list. And if I go into this quick add field, one of the options that it gives me is this paste option, this bulk paste option. It looks like a clipboard. So press on that. And immediately you can see that without my even touching it, the paste option came up. So I'm going to hit paste. There's my list in there. And then I'm going to hit done. And when I do, you can see they're all imported into my shopping list. Okay? So lastly, sharing lists. This is kind of a nice to have. So you can share lists with the members of your family so that they can update the list from their phones. I have done this with my husband, but I'm not sure that he's actually ever used it. Most of the time he just tells me what he wants to add to the list. This is easier for him, I guess. I really love AnyList, and I plan to do another video for my other super unorthodox use of this app. I'll do that a little later on. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and I really appreciate any comments that you leave below.